Hello everybody, this is Sylvester with Sylvester's Fashion Art and Tarot, and today I'm going to be doing a reading on Jean-Michel Basquiat. And I would like to say that Jean-Michel Basquiat was a contemporary artist, and he reigned throughout the early part to almost end part of the 80s. He became rather famous quickly. His work was very prolific, and people loved his work. Well, not everyone loved his work, but some people admired the work that he was doing. And I think when I look at his work, it's very spiritual when you look at it. I feel like he was connecting spiritually with spirit. And him having a Haitian background, and Haitian people have a tendency to, well, have a gift or relating to their ancestors. And him having a Haitian father and a Puerto Rican mother, I think his Haitian side was really strong with him. And I think that part of him related in his work artistically. He had a very strong point of view, and he was not afraid of color. He was loud and bold, very dynamic. His work was just explosive, and it represented him. He had a lot going on in his mind, and he conveyed that in his work. And I think he did over 1,000 pieces before he passed. He died at such a young age. I believe it was 27 years old in 1988. Some kind of drug-related death. It might have been cocaine, because it's rumored that it's been said he took a lot of cocaine, and which was really sad. So he probably was going through a lot of personal, deep emotional stuff that he was trying to work out, and I guess he just couldn't get a handle on it. He probably needed some time to overcome his issues, or basically just sit down and talk with someone. Me personally, I do believe there were people around to want to help him, but I think he's a little stubborn. I think he's a little stubborn, and he just do what he want to do. He don't care. He just do whatever. So I guess he was going through his own personal human revolution to grow out of his different stages in life, so he could move on to different things. So he needed more time. And who knows how his work would have progressed over the years had he lived. Who knows? And I remember seeing some kind of auction on YouTube where one of his paintings went for billions of dollars to a man from China. And it's like, wow. That's really amazing. I'm sure he's in the spirit world, like thinking like, wow, his work really is very profitable, and people admire it, and it's a part of history. People will forever know who he is. They will really know who Jean-Michel Basquiat is. So this reading, I'm basically asking Spirit what was going on in and around Jean-Michel Basquiat before he passed. What was in his heart, what was in his mind, what was going on around him before his death. So I'm going to start the reading now. Dear Spirit, please allow for me to know what you would like for me to share. Cards are already talking with me. These down. Please allow me for me to know what you would like for me to share about Jean-Michel Basquiat. Okay. Yeah. Oh my goodness. These cards just want to talk. My goodness. Okay. Two more cards. Alright. Please share what you would like for me to know about Jean-Michel Basquiat before he passed. What was in his heart? What was in his mind? What was going in and around him before his passing? Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you so much. Please share what you would like for us to know about Jean-Michel Basquiat before his passing. Oh, okay. This card wouldn't come out. All right. That be. Cards are speaking. Okay. For those that want to know what kind of spread I'm doing a Celtic cross spread. So, and it usually comprises of 10 cards. Okay. All right. First card I get is the Nine of Swords. This represents the person. He must have been dealing with a lot of conflicting issues, a lot of stressful things that were going on around him that he just couldn't get a handle on. I think he needed help, spiritual help. You know, I don't think physical help. I know it was around, but I think he needed spiritual help to help him with what was going on. And I think he was really tormented spiritually. I think his mind was just, I think he needed to organize his thoughts more. And I think he needed someone to really talk to that was spiritual, to help him organize things, to help him to mentally keep himself grounded. Because I think he was just more sporadic. He had a sporadic personality. He jumps from one thing to another. I want to do this, I want to do that. And I think his work kind of showed that too, because his work was very sporadic. Also, the work seemed very like it was trying to connect spiritually to, trying to connect to spirit, because the work kind of reminds me of like scribble. Some psychics like to scribble to get messages from the other side, and sometimes when I look at his work, it conveys that for me, and I see that strongly. So I think he was a very spiritual person. He probably just didn't know he was, and I think he needed help on that part. So this represents the person, okay? And by the way, this is more like the Nightmare card, so for people that don't know. Now the situation is represented by the King of Wands. He had a maverick attitude. He was a leader. had his own business. He liked doing his own thing, called his own shots, be his own man. Nobody tells him what to do. He does what he wants to do, when he wants to do it, however he wants to do it. A very arrogant type of attitude, you know, and he carried himself that way. Yeah, although he was going through a lot of things mentally, but he was he just liked being the boss and like calling the shots. Although he was organizing his thoughts in his mind, but he likes to call the shots. You know, a very, very maverick, strong man type of attitude. Very cavalier, very dominant type of personality, but he was very disorganized in who he was. Although he appeared to be organized, but really he wasn't. You know, that's what I'm getting. So he put on a good front. Yeah, that's what I get here. Now, past influences, well, what's beneath him, but also representing his past influences done by the Three of Wands. He had opportunities. He sought opportunities, and they worked out well for him. He became very successful with his work. People loved what he was doing. People bought into his world, into his mental way of creating. I think that's the way I can word that. Yeah, so the ships were coming in for him, and opportunities were always coming for him. People were attracted to him. People helped him. People connect him with other people. He was able to travel. He was able to do things he never thought he would ever do in his life, and he was able to live off his work because he put a lot of time and effort into what he was doing. Right? Because he didn't go to school for art, but it's sort of like he fell into art, and it was a way for him to express himself. Now I know I've seen many movies of him, and he came out as a graffiti artist by doing the same old slogan, and there it started growing. He started getting more publicity, and people were intrigued by him, and he started to express himself more creatively, and you know, things started growing and growing and growing, and again, it kept building and building and growing for him, and it just all worked out for him financially, and people liked his personality. You know, he had a down-to-earth type of personality that people like. Yeah. And I would like to say he's fun too. What was representing his past is the Queen of Swords. He went at things alone. He was a loner. You know, he was a leader, but he's also a loner. He liked to do things himself. Again, his mind was always in a state of transitions, because there's always one thought jumping to another thought, jumping to another thought, jumping to one to another thought, because he was creative that way. You know, he was very limitless creatively, and he had to do the work himself, expresses himself. He loved connecting with other artists. He liked looking at other artists' work and wanting to learn from them. That way he can bring it to his work, but do it in his way that worked for him. But what I get here, he was definitely a man that went about things alone. You know, so I would get leadership, a loner, got to do it myself type of attitude. It's like nobody else can do it right but me. You know, this is my work, I do it my way. It's like my way or the highway is all about me. You know, so that kind of feeling. What crowns him is the high priestess. I get a spiritual connection, but I get there was a lot of hidden secrets for him that a lot of things that are going on within him that he just didn't understand. He didn't get a lot of things. He didn't understand a lot of things, but yet he was connected spiritually. He probably didn't understand that he was spiritual, or that he was connecting in his work. He just knew he was just doing what he was doing. So it's like he was being guided spiritually in his work, but he probably just didn't understand how and why he was doing it. But he just knew that he was able to express himself that way. He just didn't understand how he was able to do that and how it all panned out for him. You know, so that's what I get here with the high priestess. So he was a very spiritual man, and his work really shows it. You know, it's like right now what's popping in my head is him again. It's like he's searching through his art to find meaning in things, to understand things, to express himself through objects and words. There's different names for him. I just can't think of them all right now, but it's like he likes to scribble. He likes to mix words with his scribble. He likes to come up with the different objects to convey what he's trying to say. With all that, it's like he's connecting spiritually. He's connecting with spirit in a way, or spirit is using him to help him convey his ideas, or how do I word it, to give him the inspiration he needs to express himself. If that makes sense. But anyway, that's what I get here. This is what crowns him. In his future, what represents his future is the strength card. You know, and his mind was limitless. He's very strong in expressing himself creatively with the help of spirit. He had a little hard time with media, but he learned to work with them. So he had to tame the beast being media. So, because in my mind I'm getting Beauty and the Beast, and I'm feeling like he was beauty and the media was the beast. Because sometimes the media can be very, very heartless. And he had a hard time with media a bit. Yeah, but he learned to work with them a bit. He learned to calm himself with media. So so he kind of grew into building, or at least having an understanding with how media works. Because in the beginning he didn't so much. He had a hard time expressing himself with media, but as time moved on, he was getting slowly getting there. So, but he had a very strong heart, a strong mind, and he wasn't afraid to go out and just do his thing. He just knew he had to do it, and it's like he was on a mission. Strong mission to convey what he was trying to do. Yeah, and had he lived, we just would have continued on. His work would be, I have a feeling his work would advance further than what we know his work to be. Right now we see him at this one stage, and that's this first stage that he was in. Had he lived, it would have molded into something else. But we don't know what that else is because he hadn't lived. He died at 27, so we don't know what that is. But I'm feeling that his work would have transitioned into something else than what he was doing. So what we saw was like the first stage in what he was doing. And I feel like what's popping in my head is 3 stages. And he hadn't reached it. He hadn't reached it. He was still in his first stage. because he was developing himself, but the drugs took over, unfortunately. So we will never know what that is. Okay, what's in his mind is represented by the Page of Pentacles. And I get he had good experiences with people. I get money was always there for him. He attracted wealth into his life. Um, yeah, money was there for him. He attracted wealth into his life. It was, yeah, just with this card, it just attraction to wealth and prosperity. That's what's in his mind. It's like, make more money, get more money. His work will sell. It's almost a bit arrogant a little bit, because he feel like anything he'll do, he'll sell and he'll make money. You know, because this representing what's in his mind. And so it's like, I make the art, I have people that sell it, I make money. So you know, it's always good to feel good about the work that you do, but part of me feel like he was a bit arrogant with it. Just a little bit. I mean, it doesn't mind to be arrogant, but not so much. I'm trying to find the right word for this. It's always good to be humble. That's the word, humble. Just show a little bit of humbleness to your work. In the beginning, he was, but I think throughout the years of what he was, as he was creating, he was starting to get a little more cocky. Just a little more cocky. And, you know, he got a little full of himself a little bit, because he always expects anything he does, he'll always attract wealth. So, yeah, well, he did speak it into existence, and it worked out in his favor. And he did become a success, and money was there for him. So, that's the energy I get with this card. And this next card represents his environment. His environment is represented by the Fool, new journey, a journey, a leap of faith into the unknown. Not sure what's there, but he's definitely having a ride, and he's, you know, enjoying himself, having a good time, just being him in all his splendor. Love or hate, he is who he is what he is. In my mind, what I'm thinking right now, he didn't have a lot, but he had a lot. He had a lot with his art, but he didn't have a lot personally. Yeah, he didn't have a lot personally, but he had a lot when it comes to his work. He gained a lot with his work. His work took him all over the world. The work exposed him. Yeah. I know I sound like a broken record. I keep repeating himself, but these things keep popping in my head every time I pick up this card, because they all intertwined with him. Yeah, in some aspect. So I'm just conveying what I'm feeling and hearing, and how the cards are being, and how the energy of the card is telling me things. So yeah, so this is representing a leap into the unknown, which allowed him to travel the world, see things he never seen before, do things he never done before. It was just an exciting time for him. Very excited. He was very excited to just do so many things and be at so many places. And it's just quite amazing for him. Quite amazing. Yeah. And his hopes and fears is represented by the Tower. You know, he feared things crashing for him, things not working out for him, you know, and he just had a lot of fears. And I think this relates to the first card that came out, which represents him as a person where he stressed a lot, worried a lot, had a lot of doubts, a lot of he wasn't confident about a lot of things. He was sure of some things, but he wasn't internally. He was just in doubt about a lot of things, which I think where the drugs came in. But anywhere in his hopes and fears represented by the tower, I get things just came down for him. He lost a lot. Something where he just lost. It's like he hit rock bottom. This represented irrevocable change. And I think this is where he starts to really spiral down. So yeah, I think this is where the drugs came in. The drugs really just caused him to just lose everything, which is where he lost his life, where he passed on. He transitioned, he moved on. It's almost like he wanted to go, wanted to give up a little bit. And it's like, to make all that money and do so well, he just want to just leave like that. There could have been so much he could do creatively. Because in my mind, I see that he's being affiliated with schools, helping young students, helping other people, especially minority students, black students, get into the art world. There's so much he could have done, but yeah, I just get a feel that he kind of gave up a little bit. Well, just gave up, and drugs wasn't helping, so it just ended up, he took too much, overdosed, and he died. Yeah. People don't do coke. It really isn't worth it. Talk to somebody, please. Because there's no sense for you to sit up and snorting all that stuff in your nose. The next thing you know, you're out and you wonder why you got a bloody nose. People know when they see that you're actually doing that. Or if you're sniffing a lot, or a little bit too much, after a while, it's not like a regular cold. It's not like a regular cold. It's like you're trying to get something out of your nose. Something's going on there. It's usually a hint for people, like they do a coke, or they eating a lot of candy. A lot of candy. A lot of sweets. Because people that take coke needs more sweets or something. You need something sweet, like I don't know, just sweet stuff, sweet candy. That's another way of knowing that someone is taking coke. So it ain't worth it. It really isn't. Okay, the final card I have here is his outcome. But what represents his outcome is the Two of Pentacles. He was having a problem with money. He spent too much. And guess where most of the money was going to, people? Can you guess? Can you guess? Unfortunately, it was going towards the coke. Unfortunately, he was being careless with his money. He's been a bit too careless with his money. Now, I wouldn't say coke, the drugs wasn't the only thing he spent on, but he indulged a bit on things. Travels, he indulged, different places. Bought things he really didn't need to buy. So he just had to watch his spending. Spent a little too much. Now, I will say this: anything I say, people, is allegedly. Just for entertainment purposes only. So I don't want nobody coming after me. This is just a reading, having fun here, and I'm just conveying what the cards are saying. That's all. So please don't take anything I say personally, because I don't want nobody coming after me. So anything I say is allegedly, okay? But basically what I'm getting here as his outcome is that he needed to balance his finances at the same time, he had a lot going on. He wasn't organized himself, so he was a bit disorganized. He definitely needed assistance, a little help with some things. And that's what I'm getting here. So I'm gonna stop there. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed the reading on Jean-Michel Basquiat. And I also want to mention I do have an Etsy shop, and it's called Sylvester's Fashion Art. And please check it out. I'll put the link below. Well, yeah, I'll put the link below. And feel free to check it out. Hope you guys would like to support me by buying something, or just generally just check it out and let me know what you think. And thank you for coming. And I'll be back soon with another reading. All right, take care. Bye.